Welcome to Kami Podcast Reviews and the anime section. Now, how this is going to work is that every week, one of us is going to choose an anime for all of us to watch and review at the end of the week. There's no restriction of the show except that it must be either completed or have easily defined seasons. Whether or not all of us have watched it doesn't matter, since we're going to be reviewing old shows and new shows. So it can be something that some of us are familiar to or none of us are familiar to. Anyway, with that said, let's get started with our first review.
So today, this week, we're doing a review on an anime called A Certain Magical Index, Season 1. And we have today Ernesto, who is doing the summary, or the plot of the story. Alright, Ernesto, go ahead.
Yeah, it's the two of us by ourselves, because it was originally going to be a four-person thing, but the two other guys didn't show up, so we're pulling this out by ourselves. Alright, so the show centers around Toma Kamijo, a high school student of Academy City, a technologically advanced city made entirely up of schools. On his daily routine, he meets a girl named Index, who possesses 103,000 grimoires, or spellbooks that contain forbidden or powerful spells.
Yeah.
From then on, he's dragged into danger as both sides of science and magic seem to collide within the city. Okay, so the premise of the show is that, within the city there are supernatural beings called espers who are studying to become stronger.
Mm-hmm.
And while Toma is, he's considered the weakest of the city because he's a level 0 esper.
Yeah.
He also possesses a power that's able to negate all magic and psychic abilities, which is called the Imagine Breaker.
The Imagine Breaker. That's a funny name. Did he come up with it, or was it the doctor?
It was... Oh, shit, I don't even remember.
Alright.
It was the redheaded dude, wasn't it?
I guess so, yeah. Yeah, okay, I forgot his name. The priest?
The guy with the barcode?
Yeah, isn't he a priest, or is he like some wizard? I think he's a wizard. I don't even know, man.
I don't remember, dude.
I don't think he explains himself, huh? Does he?
He just says he's a sorcerer.
Yeah, he's a sorcerer. Alright, but later on in season 2, or was it? No, it was after he explains what's going on, like, where they meet vampires. Yeah, there's also different mythical creeps, like mythical stuff going on.
Yeah, the show touches on a lot of other mythologies and historical events. It even talks about the knights of the church and certain chants from the actual scriptures. It's definitely a show if you enjoy a lot of the traditional anime aspects of shows and a lot of action. There's definitely a lot of action in the show.
And humor, a lot of humor.
Yeah,
of course.
And enjoyable humor. It's not too over the top or too.
Yeah, it's just hey there and hey look at that, funny every now and then.
All right. So as for the show, I think the animation looks really beautiful on it, which is surprising because with all the action scenes in it, I thought it was gonna drop a little bit in quality, but no, it looks great. Just like the scenes where they're having conversation, it looks just as good as the scenes that they're doing action scenes. And although the music within the show wasn't that memorable, I did like the opening theme. Not so much the ending thing, but I did like the opening thing, especially the very beginning of the opening theme, like that noise that it has at the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, bad.
What'd you think of it?
Yeah.
Okay. The animation. Is that your style of animation?
Animation style. I really like the animation. Like, it brings out, like, when the fighting scenes, like the animation for the fight scenes was really good. Like, actually gave a lot of, some good detail, like the smoke, debris, and actually, cities roaming around.
Did you like the music in the show?
The music of the show. I'm trying to remember. Huh.
I know, actually, I can't really remember any music.
Yeah, there wasn't really much of music, there
it wasn't that memorable.
There were just little background. We could barely hear the background music, whatever. I'm trying to think about. Huh.
The sound effects were great, I thought.
Yeah, the sound effects went pretty good with
especially with larger scale fights.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know why, but for some reason I like the sound effects with the maid. when she's riding a little tiny cleaning robot. She's just circling around. I don't know why I like that part. She's so funny. She's circling around. Oh man.
For an action show, it's pretty well paced. I thought the characters are like really likable. There isn't really a character that draws my attention too much. I think there's like one that kind of does, but for overall the characters they're likable. Like they're not that annoying or anything like that. What about you?
Yeah.
What do you think?
The characters. Actually, yeah, the characters, pretty normal. They're not out there. They're pretty much, hey, we're normal students, but we have powers, kind of thing. They don't really have much. What?
They're not over the top.
Yeah, they're
I
not
guess.
over. Yeah, like
except
the
for
outfits,
the crazy dude.
Yeah, the outfits and everything are, pretty standard, normal clothing. No one stands out too much besides Index, which she has a nun costume, which pretty much stands out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all pretty like funny. They're all humorous, but there's not anyone that I specifically like get pulled into.
I didn't really like the Accelerator's voice that much. Well, his voice is all right, but the part where he laughs, I don't like his laugh.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like I thought I was the only one who was thinking that because I thought the laughing was really weird.
Yeah.
I think even Sergio brought it up too. He said the laughing was odd.
Yeah, his laughing.
I don't know.
His laughing is a little odd, but
that was weird.
I guess it brings up for the whole psychopathic guy, whatever. Yeah.
I thought all the other voice actors were good too.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy subbed animes or dubbed?
Sub.
Because I've heard that this one might get dubbed at some point.
Oh, for real? Huh. I don't know.
I
might watch it, but sometimes I really like the sub version because I wish I understand it, but I have to read it. But I like it like the original context. It actually brings out the character more instead of dub, because the dub voice acting is not top notch.
When they do it dubbed, it's always either like the same people who do it over and over again, or like they just don't fit the characters themselves.
Yeah, it rarely fits the characters.
Yeah. With overall, the show I think was really good. The story is really interesting. There's a lot of stuff pulled from real life, added into the show with what's going on, like the church details. The index that they're referring to is an actual like text. And overall, I thought the show was good. Although I did have a few problems with the show itself. In terms of like the powers and stuff, I didn't like the fact that they don't really address how they work or anything like that. Like they don't go into detail with that stuff. Like before we even did this review, we were talking about how stuff works, and it was like really confusing. They just don't. Maybe it's because it's the first season and they're not able to cover everything, and I know that they have to like go into the story more than all these details. It just bugged me a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think they explain why they're doing it in season 2. It just bam, happens right there in season 1. Like it's just the world. I guess you should get the summary of what's going on. I guess, but they should have just explain why they're have a city doing scientific work. I'm not sure if it explains why.
At the beginning, there's a scene where he meets Zapper, and it's like.
Yeah, it was like a random scene, huh?
It's kind of like a way to explain what her abilities are, and they describe it as like espers, and it's the control of like kinetic momentum or something like that, but they don't go into detail to like explain everything.
Yeah.
Like how it works.
Another
problem that I had with it was the motivations. No, listen to this one for a minute, because like at the very early in the show, we something happens to the main character that's like a huge event. At least it should be a huge event. And tell me if you know what I'm talking about. It's a big event that should change everything.
All right, right? Go into it. Like, is it where he meets Index?
I don't want to spoil it, but it's the problem that Index had, but remember that it like kind of switches up.
So he forgets everything?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
yeah. All right.
I don't like that. I had a huge problem with that because, like, if you compare everything from like before that event and then everything after that event, it seems like the same stuff would have happened even if that event didn't happen.
True.
Like even if he hadn't lost his memory, I think all the events that happened anyway would have happened no matter what. It didn't like it seems like such a huge event that would change everything.
Yeah,
and
like,
it doesn't.
Yeah, like he wakes up in the hospital, like his memory is just totally wiped out, and then it doesn't change like oh, who are you or what's this, it is continual what's gonna happen either way. Like even if he forgot his memory, it's still gonna happen. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And then
he's like, who are you? Oh well, let's get to know each other.
He completely loses all of his memory, but he still has like the same motivations, like the same kind of character. He's still kind of like the same kind of character that helps people no matter what.
Yeah,
and it doesn't seem that realistic if you lost your entire memory.
Yeah, that's true. Like I think that what they should have done is like when he forgot his memory, at least have a little bit of change of personality. But
yeah, like make him at least question what he's doing.
Yeah.
And like I think it would have worked better if it had come out later in the show, like it would have happened later in the show, or if like hopefully it becomes a major factor in the next seasons. But
no, it doesn't.
Again, I haven't seen it. It doesn't. It's just. And then the last one I had, the last issue I had was the triangle romance bullshit that every show has now.
The love triangle.
I hate that shit.
And I
don't hate it because I don't like the aspect of it. It's just that they always introduce the character that he's gonna be with, but then there's always another character that gets involved, and it's like.
Yeah, that's true. Like
it irritates me because I always like the character that he meets along the way, not the first one.
Yeah, I like Zapper. I think he goes good with Zapper.
Yeah, exactly. But he's gonna stay with the other one.
I think her name's Kasumi or Misaki. There you go, Misaki. Yeah, Misaki.
It's okay. Did you have any problems with the show? Those are my problems.
I think it's just your problems. I liked it a lot. Like it's something different because most shows are all about. Action or just random events. This actually has it actually brings up science with religion, and it's just something that not much stuff do besides like those rare occasions where they actually do and become big hits like Trinity Blood.
I was originally gonna stay away from the show because it was about an academy, and there's a lot of shows about like magic academies and that kind of stuff, like high schools that are different from regular ones, but overall I thought it was a good show. I enjoyed it. Overall, I'm giving out my score right now. My score would probably be a 4 out of 5.
A 4 out of 5.
The only reason I wouldn't give it a 5 out of 5 is because it just didn't have that feeling of like anxiety. Like usually there's some shows where I watch them.
Yeah.
And then I stop watching them, and I'm like, shit, I want to figure out what's going on. I want to keep watching it and not losing any detail. And with this one, I just kind of I would stop and take a break, and I'd be like, okay.
Yeah,
I don't have any rush to finish it.
Yeah, I recommend 4 out of 5 also, because the show goes when you're watching it, you have to go back and forth and watch it a couple of times to understand what's happening.
Yeah.
All right. So
I think that was certain magical index. I think that's the end of the review now.
Actually, before we end this, our favorite characters. You don't have no favorite characters, right? We already mentioned that, huh?
The closest one would probably be Accelerator.
Accelerator. All right. Well, my favorite character is, I gotta say, Shocker, or her little Zapper. She's pretty. She's pretty funny.
Yeah, I really like her character.
Yeah. So yeah. This is
Alright, so
a certain magical index.
I recommend. Yeah. I recommend watching it.
Yeah. Same here. I recommend watching it. There's also it's still ongoing. Season 3 is not out. It's not out yet. I don't know when it's gonna be out. I heard that rumors that said it was gonna come out in October, but I really don't know. But yeah, keep an eye out for season 3.